I'm back, everybody. Another Thursday, and I'm keeping my promise. This is awesome. I'm so proud of myself. I am amazed by me at this moment. What else about me? I'm a little too sensitive. My feelings get hurt very easily, even though they get hurt probably 80% less than they did about 6 or 7 years ago. So, I mean, huge improvement, but still a lot of ground to cover here on my overly sensitive feelings. So what's the thing about yourself that you want to change the most? Let's just name one thing, and it has to be real specific. Mine right now is, you know it, I gotta work out. I'm trying so hard. All of you guys have had such good suggestions. Have I done it yet? No. It's a week later and I still haven't done one thing. Would it count if I took a walk? Well, I did take a walk yesterday. And that's sad because it wasn't like I didn't have on yoga pants or anything. I was wearing my normal studio clothes and I went on a walk. It wasn't aggressive. It wasn't energetic. So no, that doesn't count. If I did something like that tonight, maybe that would count. Anyway, what's the thing that you need to change about yourself the most? You know, I've told you guys this before. I'm constantly trying to improve myself in every single way possible. There's a lot to improve upon, and it's exhausting. I can't do it. I just want to accept myself. Is that so wrong? Can I accept myself and still be vigilant about improving myself? I don't know. What else about me? I love salt. I love lemons. I hate the feel of terracotta. My stomach hurts. I love yarn and soft things and blankets. I hate child molesters. I love Animal Crossing. I don't love to overexert myself physically. Mentally, I'll do it. When it comes to staying up late, I'll do it. Although, guys, still on my schedule. 8 a.m. wake up. Today I changed it to 9 because I didn't get to sleep until late because I was working so hard on... Actually, I want to tell you guys about it. You know, my shop will be open in a couple of weeks. I'm trying to decide when to open it because of the dumb election coming up. So I'm a little bit like, I don't want to do it. I was going to open it the week of the election, and then I was like, that doesn't work. So probably the following week. I'm thinking maybe the 12th. But anyway, so I have a couple of me reading stuff things going on the shop page. And one of them is a very special, unique, there's only going to be one of them unless I decide to make another one day, and I doubt I will. And I hurt my thumb and my middle finger making it because I was working so hard on it. It's not that big of a deal, but I think it is. It's made with a lot of love. It's a me reading stuff tote bag crocheted, and it says, it's yellow and red because those are the colors for me reading stuff and my website and all of that. And ketchup and mustard, hello. And it just says me on the one side and read on the back side. So me read, and that will be available in the shop. So I'll keep you guys updated when I post and everything. I want a me reading stuff listener to get that one, obviously, because there's a lot of other bags that are more art related or whatever. They're not me reading stuff bags. So this is a magazine size, like a big tote bag. And oh my God, I'm so excited about it. I almost wanted to keep it for myself, but nope, not going to do it. I still can't find my Mark Strand collected poems book. It's a big book. I'm pretty sure one of you stole it. I'm not going to ask any questions. If one of you simply just decides to return it to me, put it on my doorstep, or in my mailbox. I'm not going to prosecute. Just return the Mark Strand book. Seriously, I've never lost a book before. This is driving me insane. So I do believe maybe my movers stole it. I have no idea. What else? Recommendation corner. I don't know that I have any recommendation corners. The first episode of the new season of the new Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix is really interesting. So I'm going to recommend the other ones I'm not as into, but the first episode about Ray Rivera it's not Ray Rivera. That's the other season. This one is about this government official who goes missing and ends up being murdered, and it's such a weird story. I would really love to hear your thoughts on that. So, first episode, season 2 of the new Unsolved Mysteries, really interesting. Did I tell you guys that I'm watching The Office for the first time? Don't know how I didn't watch it before. I have no idea what my deal was, but man, I am into it. I'm having dreams about it. I keep pretending like when I answer the phone, I want to say Dunder Mifflin, this is Pam. Actually, I want to say this is Robin. I want to work there so badly. So, yeah, welcome to the world for me, right? I can't believe it took me this long to watch The Office, but I'm watching the American Office. Eventually I'll watch the British one, but I can't understand British accents, so I'll have to like really watch it with subtitles or something. I hope that doesn't sound rude. I'm sorry, I just can't. It takes me a while because I remember one time, a long time ago, Billy was watching it, and every time I'd come in the room, I couldn't understand. I tried to get into it, but I couldn't understand it. So I'm going to have to, watch that when I can really pay attention. And right now, anything I'm watching, I'm also crocheting and making all my stuff for the shop. I have so many. I'm calling them modeliers now. This is my first announcement of this. I came up with the word last night. It's a combo of mobile and chandeliers because they're really not mobiles and they're really not chandeliers because they don't have a light source, but they're modeliers. So anyway, I've got lots of big ones, lots of medium ones, and I have a whole lot of one-stranders. Those are going to be only like $35 to $45, and they will brighten up your office there at Dunder Mifflin. All right. I don't think I have anything for Culinary Corner either. I'm going to get right into it. I wanted to, for at least maybe like 3 weeks in a row, I want to do my top books that I want everybody to read before they die. This is going to be week one. Week one, and a lot of these I've already read from or mentioned a million times prior to this, but that's okay because we've got a lot of new listeners here. So this is the number one book I would choose for everybody to read out there. Nobody's going to be surprised if you've listened to this long enough. It's Anne Carson's Autobiography of Red. It's also called, the subtitle, A Novel in Verse. I'm going to link to where you can purchase this book. It's from Vintage Contemporaries Books, or Vintage Books, otherwise known as. I'm going to read the back just because I'm doing an official introduction, so just kind of assuming somebody out there hasn't heard of it. The award-winning poet Anne Carson reinvents a genre in Autobiography of Red, a stunning work that is both a novel and a poem, both an unconventional recreation of an ancient Greek myth and a wholly original coming-of-age story set in the present. And here's a little more. Geryon, a young boy who is also a winged red monster, reveals the volcanic terrain of his fragile, tormented soul in an autobiography he begins at the age of 5. As he grows older, Geryon escapes his abusive brother and affectionate but ineffectual mother, finding solace behind the lens of his camera and in the arms of a young man named Herakles. I think that's how you say it. A cavalier drifter who leaves him at the peak of infatuation. When Herakles reappears years later, Geryon confronts again the pain of his desire and embarks on a journey that will unleash his creative imagination to its fullest extent. By turns whimsical and haunting, erudite and accessible, richly layered and deceptively simple, Autobiography of Red is a profoundly moving portrait of an artist coming to terms with the fantastic accident of who he is. Man, it's a fantastic accident that any of us became who we are, period, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to be right back. I'm going to give you guys another little radio teaser or whatever they're called. What do I call those again? Sting. And I'll be right back to read to you from Autobiography of Red by my ultimate hero. Sorry for the loudness there. Anne Carson. Okay, FYI, I'm sitting on an exercise ball. I love the feel of these things. I always have. So I bought myself a new one recently. Haven't exercised on it, but I love sitting on it. So does that count a little bit? I guess you're doing a little bit of ab workout. All right, I'm going to start. I decided to read something that I know I have not read on the podcast, which is the introduction, the first, if you could call it a chapter, of Autobiography of Red. It's a little long, so if you're one of those people who have admitted to me that you listen and fast forward through when I read, let it be known that this is going to take a little while, but if you like to hear me reading, then this is your chance. All right, Red Meat, Fragments of Stesichoros. 1. Geryon. Geryon was a monster. Everything about him was red. Put his snout out of the covers in the morning, it was red. How stiff the red landscape where his cattle scraped against their hobbies in the red wind. Burrowed himself down in the red dawn jelly of Geryon's dream. Geryon's dream began red, then slipped out of the vat and ran up sail, broke silver shot up through his roots like a pup. Secret pup at the front end of another red day. 2. Meanwhile he came. Across the salt knobs it was him. Knew about the home gold. Had sighted red smoke above the red spires. 3. Geryon's parents. If you persist in wearing your mask at the supper table, well, good night then, they said, and drove him up. Those hemorrhaging stairs to the hot, dry arms, to the ticking red taxi of the incubus. Don't want to go, want to stay downstairs and read. 4. Geryon's death begins. Geryon walked the red length of his mind and answered no. It was murder, and torn to see the cattle lay. All these darlings, said Geryon, and now me. 5. Geryon's reversible destiny. His mother saw it. Mothers are like that. Trust me, she said, engineer of his softness. You don't have to make up your mind right away. Behind her red right cheek, Geryon could see coil of the hot plate starting to glow. 6. Meanwhile in heaven, Athena was looking down through the floor of the glass-bottom boat. Athena pointed, Zeus looked, him. 7. Geryon's weekend. Later they left the bar, went back to the centaurs. Placed the centaur, had a cup made out of a skull holding 3 measures of wine. Holding it, he drank. Come here. Here you can bring your drink if you're afraid to come alone. The centaur patted the sofa behind him, reddish-yellow, small, alive animal. Not a bee moved up Geryon's spine on the inside. 8. Geryon's father. A quiet root may know how to holler. He liked to suck words. Here is an almighty one, he would say, after days of standing in the doorway. Night Bull snorted. 9. Geryon's war record. Geryon laid on the ground, covering his ears. The sound of the horses like roses being burned alive. 10. Schooling. In those days, the police were weak, family was strong. Hand in hand, the first day Geryon's mother took him to school. She neatened his little red wings and pushed him in through the door. 11. Right. Are there many little boys who think they are a monster? But in my case I am right, said Geryon to the dog. They were sitting on the bluffs. The dog regarded him joyfully. 12. Wings. Steps off a scraped March sky and sinks up into the blind Atlantic morning, one small red dog jumping across the beach miles below like a freed shadow. 13. Herakles' killing club. Little red dog did not see it. He felt it all. Events carry but one. 14. Herakles' arrow. Arrow means kill. It parted Geryon's skull like a comb made, the boy neck lean at an odd, slow angle sideways, as when a poppy shames itself in a whip of nude breeze. 15. Total things known about Geryon. He loved lightning. He lived on an island. His mother was a nymph of a river that ran to the sea. His father was a gold cutting tool. Old scholia say that Stesichoros says that Geryon had 6 hands and 6 feet and wings. He was red, and his strange red cattle excited envy. Herakles came and killed him for his cattle. The dog, too. 16. Geryon's end. The red world and corresponding red breezes went on. Geryon did not. Well, jeez. I started to cry at about, I think, the 11th one, where the dog regarded Geryon joyfully. I hope that entices you, and go ahead and do a search on me reading stuff on the Podomatic page, which is linked here, and you can see, I think it's linked here. Anyway, and you'll be, if not, just go to mereadingstuff.podomatic.com. or just search me reading stuff on the internet and you'll find it. And you can search Anne Carson's name and find more from Autobiography of Red and more from many of her other books. I so highly recommend her that I don't even have words for it. And it really is like hard for me to hold back tears. This is the most tender and loving and bittersweet, beautiful tales of love that I've ever read in my life. And yeah, there's nothing like it. There's a beautiful volcano on the cover too, if you like volcanoes. And I think that was maybe designed by one of her family members, if I'm right. And Anne Carson, I remember, has said that she doesn't really make art, but she does paint volcanoes sometimes, which is such a cool thing. I've always wanted to be one of those people who, if all I did was like Shakira, the singer, the pop star, did you know that she likes to paint fried eggs? Yeah, everybody. She paints fried eggs. Look it up. How crazy is that? Like, if you're going to pick something to paint and you pick fried eggs, well, then you might just be the best visual artist in the world, in my opinion. So thank you, Shakira. To sum up, my show at Inman Gallery ends in Houston this week. Sadly, it ends on Halloween. Happy Halloween, by the way. You guys can check out the viewing room online if you'd like to see that work. Those are my Cloudmaker series. Has to do with me sort of amalgamating clouds from various sources and making my own storms. I'm very excited about it. It was a complete thrill, and to work with Carrie Inman at Inman Gallery is one of the greatest pleasures of my life. I've known her since I was basically a kid, so it's good to be working with her again. Please rate and or review this podcast on the Apple Music podcast app, whatever that is. You know what I'm talking about, if you happen to have iTunes or Apple Music. And also check out my shop. You guys, these cards are doing real well. People love them. So robinoneal.com/shop. I'm going to link it. Of course, link it. You're going to buy here's what you're going to do. Let me tell you guys exactly what you're going to do right now. You're going to go buy Autobiography of Red by Anne Carson if you haven't done it yet. You're not going to get it from Amazon. You're going to get it from where I link below, okay? That's number one. Then you're going to say, you know what? I do want to send out greeting cards because that's a nice thing to do to people, especially while we're all quarantining. At least I'm still quarantining. I don't know if everybody else is. It seems like everybody is. So anyway, you're going to buy 3 greeting cards from me at robinoneal.com/shop. These are my 2020 headstone cards. They say 2020 to 2020. It's basically me saying, hey, fuck you, 2020. None of us like you. Go away. And listen, world, don't make me have to make a 2021 card like this with a headstone. Anyway, it's better looked at than talked about, so head to my shop and check that out. There's also stickers, 4-inch by 4-inch, big, nice, hearty stickers. That's all I've got, you guys. Let me ask you some questions as we end this thing. Do you consider yourself a kind person? And if I'm assuming everybody here does, unless you're a complete bigot asshole, which in that case, you can get the fuck out of here. And if you do think you're kind, but what is one thing you could work on? For me, I do consider myself to be a kind person, but I can work on maintaining my more acquaintance-style friendships better. I'm really close. I'm one of those people that has really, really close friends, and then, and then there's a big gap in between. And I'm not good, because I'm not a social person. So, even in the days pre-COVID, people I really love, that doesn't mean I really hang out with them. It's really complicated. Anyway, I'd like to work on that a little bit more, or just be accepting of who I am, that's it. It's hard for me to be around people, even those that I really love, unless they're family members. It's just hard for me. So anyway, that's one thing. Do you think you have some narcissistic tendencies? Be honest. Are you using your creativity to the best of your abilities? And if not, what can you do about that this week? Do something about it this week. Are you reading enough? I'm not right now. It's making me crazy because all I'm doing is making things. Do your legs hurt? Do your clothes fit? Is your hair clean? Is your kitchen counter clean and well organized? And lastly, who are you? Don't just tell me your name, Jamie. and Michaela and Markel. Who are you really? It's a big question, but everybody listening to this program, you guys are big, awesome people, and I know you can answer. So who are you? That's it for me. That's it for us. I love you guys. Take it easy, and I'll talk to you next week. Happy Halloween.